Today's video is going to serve two purposes. I'm going to teach you about skinning in Albion Online, which is the best way to make money safely, but also I'm going to show you the proper way to do it and the silver per hour in 2024. Let's do this. I'm going to eat a pork pie here, which you can see gives me more gathering yield. I also have my gathering tools, tier 8 Avalonian. I have tier 8 skinning equipment. So we're all set. And a lot of people may say, well, I don't have tier 8 equipment. There's no way I can farm as fast as you. And my answer to that is just play the game for a month. Once you've played the game for a month, you'll unlock tier 8. You can afford the equipment. It's very cheap. And I'm in a zone that's a few zones away from Bridgewatch. The reason I'm picking Bridgewatch is because it's the skinning capital, so to speak, as in this is a step, and so there are more animals to skin in this area than others. Also, you may be wondering, well, why are you skinning in the safe zones? Everyone on Reddit tells me that skinning in a black zone or a red zone is more profitable. What's your deal? Why are you telling people not to go to the dangerous zones? And the answer to that is simple. Because you don't really honestly make more money as a solo guildless player. You don't make more money in those zones. Yeah, you can make more money in those zones if you're in a guild and you're protected and you're in a really deep area where there's lots of mobs that aren't being constantly farmed. But because I'm a solo guildless player, I don't get that luxury. If I go to those zones, I will be constantly attacked, hunted. The areas around the portals and the earlier parts of the black zone will all be massively controlled, patrolled, and taken. It's just not worth it. Also, another thing too, I see a lot of people make a mistake of when they gather, is they bring all their tools, and you'll be like, well, I brought all my tools too. And yes, I did bring all my tools, but you don't see me harvesting the hemp over here. You don't see me cutting trees or mining stone or, mining iron or anything. And the reason why is because they're not enchanted. I'm not wearing gear that gives me a bonus to gathering those objects. So I have no reason to gather them unless they're enchanted. Whereas I'm wearing gear specifically meant for skinning here, and the game is going down to 30 minutes. But don't worry, we'll be done before then. The reason why I'm not just picking up all of these is because without the gathering gear to boost my gathering yield, it's a waste of time when I could roam around and find more animals to skin and get a bigger bonus. And the thing is, the skins are already worth more than the fiber. They're already worth more than the metals that I could mine. And so, why would I waste time, precious 30 minutes of my time here, mining this copper ore when I could just skin the mob and move on? You have to think time efficiency, right? But I see a lot of people, they make a gathering video, they're like, oh, Swole Benji says you can make $1 million per hour, but I couldn't make $1 million per hour. And it's because they spend half their video mining iron without the proper gathering gear. That's all there is to that. So you may be wondering, how am I killing the mobs so fast? What is the deal? What is going on here? You are just melting everything that you attack. And the answer is simple. So I'm using hide animal poison from my armor, which means when I auto-attack them, they get a damage over time effect that drains their health away. So I auto-attack them, and then I auto-attack this one, and then I run back to my mount, and they die conveniently next to my mount, and then I loot them. And we just do that for 30 minutes. It's really simple, and it's a really good way to make money. And a lot of other people also, they make the mistake of not using laborers and journals. So I'm going to be calculating with journals, but not with laborers for today's video, for those that are just curious because, well, the servers go down and there's not time to do it. And I don't feel like editing a video. I just feel like making a video that's just a complete one-off. So what are journals? So journals, you can buy them from the market. You can also buy them from your laborers. And what happens is, I have a little fame here. This is a filled journal. And every time I skin these animals, every single time I skin them, the fame that I get, not only do I get that towards my skinning, but I also get it, and it's not split, it's just also given to these books. So it takes 450 fame to fill up a book, right? And so every time I fill up a book, I can give one of these filled journals to a laborer for more hide, or I can sell it on the market to someone that would, basically pay for it. So essentially, there's a few things here. When you buy an empty book, yes, you have to pay silver, obviously. You're paying it to another player. And like, here's an enchanted hemp, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this real quick. And you can see here, that's an easy 2,000 silver, which, again, may not sound like much. And you're going to have, like, these elitists in the black zone say, oh, 2,000 silver, wow, I kill one mob and get that. Okay, yeah, you kill one mob and get 2,000 silver. when I kill one mob in the black zone, not only does it take longer than half a second to kill them, I'm also at the risk of losing everything I have on my character. So I just did it with no risk and in half a second. So I don't know what you're comparing it to, but yeah, there is no comparison. Now I did make a mistake there and not reapply my hide animal poison, but that's totally fine. Also, another thing too that I see in other people's gathering videos is that they're ignoring these little baby mobs. These little baby mobs, these little impalas, they're amazing for silver. Let me show you. Here's a stack of what they're going to give me. Rugged hide. This is worth 11,000 right now. Well, check it out. So I'm just going to harvest these impalas. Look how fast I did this, right? And now it's worth 14,000. So I just made 3,000 silver and again, like half a second. Half a second, 3,000 silver. That's more than the big mob that we killed earlier. And so that's why you always see me kill these little baby impalas. I mean, they're not babies. They're just... you know, they're just small. They're just small little creatures. But and yes, I'm aware I killed that one and didn't skin it. It's whatever. It's too far away. It's not on the way. Okay, guys. But let me show you journal profits here real quick. We've already filled 7 journals, and we've only been I've only been recording this for 6 minutes, guys. So you can fill these incredibly quickly. That's why I have 48 of them for a 30-minute session. So you can see here, this filled journal is worth 954, and this unfilled one is worth 354. That's just a free 700 silver. And you may be thinking, well, that's not worth the trouble. Yes, it is. Multiply it, okay? And when you have laborers, it's like 52 or 57 of these. Let's say it's 52. That's 2,000 free silver every single time, and you get the book back, okay? You get the book back. Next up, the next question that people always ask is, why am I not doing this in a tier 5 yellow zone? The tier 5 yellow zones have higher tier mobs, and they're safe. You can't be, you can't be killed and lose all your stuff. And the answer is simple. It's not as much silver per hour. And the reason why it's not as much silver per hour is very simple. Because it does not have tier 2 mobs. Remember those little impalas I talked about just a second ago? These little guys right up here, these little deer creatures? They don't exist in a tier 5 zone. But, yes, the tier 5 mobs do exist in the yellow zone, whereas they don't exist here in the blue zone, right? And those are saber-toothed tigers and those big terror bird creatures. So we won't be skinning those. And again, the reason why is it's not as good as silver per hour. And the reason why it's not as good silver per hour is it takes longer to skin them. Their skins aren't worth hardly as much. Like, if I skin a few impalas, I make what I would have made skinning a saber-tooth. And yes, a saber-tooth can drop a baby. It's very rare, but you know what else drops babies? These giant stags. And these giant stags aren't as prevalent, as in they aren't seen as often in the tier 5 zones as they are in the tier 4 zones. Also, the tier 5 zones are massively, massively overpopulated with people skinning everywhere because they don't know the trick. They haven't actually done the research and the time. Let me tell you, I've been playing this game for countless years, 6, 7 years now or something like that. It's a crazy long time. And I have run multiple tests. I even have videos on my channel to prove. I have over 700 videos on this game. You can trust me, even though Reddit tells you not to. Reddit just hates my guts because I'm exposing these secrets to the public for everyone to know so that everyone can profit, and it pisses off the people. Like, I don't get it. Like, people are mad that other people are making money. I'm like, bro, let's all make money. Let's all make money. And yes, whenever I make these videos, like this area, Sandgust Cleft, which is right here on the map, tends to get a little overpopulated because everyone watches this video, and then they come to this exact same spot to skin, and that happens sometimes. So by the time you're watching this video, there might be 20 other people that watch this video that are also here when you're here, and there's going to be less mobs to skin. That happens, okay? But what you need to do is just keep the information in your brain, and then come back later whenever the video stops trending. And then, look, right now there's only 6 people in this whole zone, and I guarantee you they're also skinning. You can see the bones. They're out here skinning too, right? And you can see, like, these mobs only had, two resource nodes on them. So someone has already skinned this whole path. But I'm killing them anyway because they could have baby drops. Like, baby drops don't care if they freshly spawned or not. All they care about is the on-kill. Also, we got more enchanted hemp over here. Now, what greatly affects your silver per hour also is another thing that I've talked about in many videos, but a lot of people don't get or they don't remember, and that is finding 4.3 nodes. If we find these giant stags and they are glowing purple, that will dramatically increase our silver per hour for that session, which for the entire hour, if you are the first to find it, and you time it and you camp it, it's like 50 to 80,000 silver every 3 minutes. That's how much more silver per hour you will earn doing this. Also, baby drops. These giant stags, they can drop babies, and they're not as good as a saber-tooth baby, but they're pretty close. They are very close. So we have this guy out here. Look, he's skinning. He's got his skinning gear on. He's even got the right weapons and stuff. So you know he's out here, and someone is spamming English chat with Chinese characters. Oh man, it takes me back. I can't talk crap in the chat though. Hey Jannies, mute these players. Anyway, so how else can you increase your silver per hour? And that is wearing the right gear, of course. You'll notice that I'm wearing a fire staff and a crypt candle. Now, the fire staff isn't anything special. The crypt candle and the hide animal poison takes care of all my needs. I'm not actually really using the fire staff abilities hardly at all. The only reason I have a fire staff is because if I find one of those 4.3 nodes, well, I need to kill the mob faster than another player who also found the node. And right now, this game has a cheating epidemic. There is a massive, massive amount of cheaters in the game. They have a little hack program that's a big box in the top left corner of their screen called a radar, and it shows them all the rare resource nodes, whereas me and you, we have to run around the map manually to find this stuff. These guys have a cheat program that points them exactly where to go, and it's really hard to compete with cheaters right now, but the way I can get an edge is they're always going to find the 4.3 node before me because their hack program will simply tell them where it is. However, they can't out DPS me unless they're also using a crypt candle and a fire staff. And you don't have to have an 8.3. I was doing this with like a flat 7 for like years. Just cast Pyroblast and don't fully charge it. Like this is a fully charged Pyroblast, right? And it hit the little creature in front of me. It didn't hit the skeleton I was aiming for. And that does happen. You gotta watch out for that. But essentially, you just quick cast Pyroblast. You just mash your E button, or whatever it is on a phone, I guess the screen, right? And you will quick cast your Pyroblast, dealing thousands of damage. And regardless if the enemy poisons the hide animal, regardless of what happens, you get the kill credit because you did more damage first. And, well, you Pyroblast basically roasts this animal to death, right? So, that's how I can kill steal the cheaters and the radar hackers who are camping these nodes. And what they do is they'll just sit on the node and do nothing. And, you'll see them just standing there, right? I've addressed this in another video, and I'll go ahead and tell you in this video since you're already 12 minutes in. You get to the juicy good stuff, right? And I do reward my viewers. Like, this guy's just chilling. What's he doing? He's not here gathering, though. Weird build. But essentially, what you want to do, because it's a tier 4 mob, they have a respawn timer of 2 to 3 to 4 minutes, okay? What you want to do is kill the mob, and then get a timer in your head, and come back and check it in 2 minutes. And the reason why is because it's going to respawn with that magical enchantment. Depending on when it's spawned, it will stay up for 1 whole hour, and that's really dependent on when the servers came up, and when like, every so often, the magic mobs kind of shift and shuffle around, okay? So that's why we're exploring the whole map and not just patrolling a little teeny tiny area. But what you want to do is find the mob, and once you get the kill, immediately look at what time it is. And then 2 minutes later, or less than 2 minutes later, ride back to the spot and get ready to kill it again. If it doesn't spawn in 2 minutes, it will usually spawn by the 3rd minute. If it still does not spawn, that means it's going to spawn around the 4 or 5 minute mark with 2 or 3 charges. Sometimes they don't respawn with just 2 charges. They respawn with 4 or 6. I'm sorry. That's a little confusing. So, like, every time I skin an animal here, you see this had 0 out of 9, right? So when you kill the tier 4.3, the purple glowing, giant stag, it will have 6 out of 6. If it's been there a while. But if it freshly spawned, it will only be 2 out of 6. But if it takes 4 or 5 minutes to spawn, it will be 4 out of 6 or 6 out of 6. So just keep sitting there because it will be worth the time, and it will earn you more silver than if you were to roam around and happen across it. Of course, if the zone is super empty and you know there's no radar hackers around that's going to yoink it, absolutely, just patrol back to it, let it get stacks. That almost never happens. There's almost always a hacker that's going to be yoinking that stuff. So, Another thing, too, the Pyroblast is really good for is just killing the mobs straight up if you forget to cast your hide animal poison, of course. So that's another reason why I use it. Also, just to note, the auto attack damage that a Fire Staff has, especially when combined with your Crypt Candle, it's just higher than everything else. So if you aren't, tier 8 and you don't have a 8.4 Crypt Candle, etc., it can be a way to increase your hide animal poison damage, though the spear is technically better because the spear you can use the second W ability to increase your passive damage, and then you cast your hide animal poison after buffing yourself, and then for the entire buff duration of your hide animal poison, you have that additional bonus damage, which also combines with the Crypt Candle because a spear is a one-handed weapon. Though a spear is a melee weapon, it's not really the best for skinning, but you'll see a lot of people out here skinning with the wrong weapon. You always, always, always want to skin with a one-handed weapon, never a two-handed weapon. The reason why is because Crypt Candle gives you an insane buff to your damage, and that buff applies to your hide animal poison. So I can hit this mob and just walk away and it just dies to the poison very, very quickly. It's super efficient. Whereas these guys using a bow or using a two-handed axe or something silly have to sit here and rotate all of their abilities 10 to 15 seconds of combat time to kill these things. I auto-attack it, it's dead in a second, I scoop up the loot, and I'm already on my way to the next pack. That's why I'm earning more silver per hour than these other goofballs making these videos trying to say that the blue zone isn't worth doing, and these Redditors that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Dude, I was actually browsing Reddit the other day just to see how bad it is, and, okay, I'm very good at identifying a bot post, okay? If for those unaware, the internet is filled with bots. There are bots that farm karma on Reddit. Their whole point of existing is to make posts that people will upvote so they get karma. And I'm starting to see a lot of these on the Albion subreddit. And you know they're bot posts because of not only how they're formatted, the spelling errors, but also the grammatical and game errors that they have. Like they call the mists the dark mists. I don't know why that's an AI thing, but like try it. Go to an AI and ask it about the mists. It'll be like the dark mists. Like, it'll also confuse abilities that and spells that aren't even in the game anymore. Like, you'll have AI tell you that Black Hands is a weapon you should use for, like, corrupted dungeons. And I saw a Reddit post the other day. They're like, yeah, the best, corrupted dungeon weapon in the game is the Black Hands. Here's the build. Here's what you should use. And, like, it didn't get the spell abilities right. It's like, bro, Black Hands haven't existed in a while. And you know what? It got some upvotes. People read it because it had nice, bolded text. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. My voice is crackling a little bit. But essentially, there's a bunch of bots posting on Reddit. And you know why? Well, like, you'd be like, why would they farm Albion? It's a dead subreddit. And the reason why is influence. What happened before I came along, before I became a YouTuber for this game, before, a lot of things. There was entire guilds that were gaslighting the subreddit, and they still do. They still do this. And, it never really truly stopped. And they would tell new players the complete wrong information. Like, even I suffered from this as a new player myself, because I went there and I'm like, what is the best, fame farm weapon in the game? And they're like, oh, it's the Great Axe. Here's why. Here's some videos on the Great Axe, and here's how it works. And I'm like, yay! And so I became a Great Axe player. I got my, I was buying their Great Axes. These guys telling me on the Reddit to be Great Axe for solo dungeon clears, which at the time was the best way to fame farm. It was really the only way to fame farm, right? And, man, things have changed since then. But, essentially, they were like, yeah, Great Axe this, Great Axe that. And little did I know at the time, those same guys were the Great Axe crafters. They were selling Great Axes. Also, you'll notice over here, there's a mob with a circle underneath its feet. Yes, I could kill that, and it's not worth the time. It's not worth sacrificing my silver per hour. Skinning will earn me more silver than killing that thing. And yes, if I could kill it relatively quickly, but I will only get fame towards my offhand and weapon, which are already maxed, mostly, anyway. So there's really no point. And the items that they drop, because it's a tier 4 zone, can only be up to tier 6. So yes, I could have missed a 6.4 drop. Chances are probably not. Very unlikely. It's, it's just more silver per hour to just go farm these things. Now, another drop, too, that you can get killing the tier 4 mobs is They're called gathering tomes. They're a completely random drop, and they just appear in your inventory. It won't be a lootable object on the ground or anything. And those things are worth, I don't think I have, yeah, I haven't had one drop. But they can be worth about 100k, so I rarely see those. Also, I just want to point out for this video, I do have premium active. So I am getting 50% of everything I'm getting. So at the end of this video, if you want to know how much you would earn without premium, just reduce it by 50%. And that'll give you a rough estimate. Not an exact number, of course. It's way easier to just go by estimates. And I'll tell you right now, this is not a very good farm session. I haven't killed a lot of tier 4 animals. I don't have any baby drops. I don't have any gathering tome drops. I haven't even seen a 4.3 node anywhere, which I normally find one by now. But hey, you know, sometimes this happens, and that's just the luck of the roll. It's actually better and more informational if I don't find these things, so that you can see the worst possible case scenario, which I'll let you know in about 10 minutes if that's what we got. I don't know until I actually play, because I am not commentating over this footage. This is not footage. This is me playing the game. Look, I'm going to do a spin. See? There you go. And I swear, I'm not like voiceovering this, okay? This is me playing live. Anyway. So, you'll notice that, again, I haven't mined a single ounce of metal. Not a single metal node, because I haven't found an enchanted one. Why would I, right? Now there's only 5 people in the zone. That's pretty good for me. And let's go ahead and grab that. And I'm just rotating around. I still haven't done a full lap yet. We've been at this for 21 minutes now, and we haven't yet to make a full lap. So generally, your first 30 minutes is just scouting out the zone and finding out where the other skinners are and where the enchanted mobs are and which people are camping what nodes and stuff. But in this case, I'm just grabbing a 30-minute sample. We're going to times it by 2 for the hourly. And look, see, like, someone got those nodes there. And that means they probably, like, this bottom part of the map is always super popular. So, but I always check it just in case. Sometimes someone might have went back and, you know, stored their gear. Let's see, we got one alive there, and it probably won't be worth much. You can see all the bones. So let's see if this is stacking up. 10 minutes to go. Yeah, it's 2 out of 6. So someone's been here very recently, within the last 2 minutes. Okay, that's how we know. Someone has been here within the last 2 minutes. But did they go up here and get these guys? Doesn't look like it, so I'm going to grab them. Also, yeah, this is a little... It's not an enchanted... I mean, it's a slightly enchanted mob. You could kill them, but it's not worth it. Just work on skinning. You can mount up now to drop aggro, so I'll show you that real quick, too. Which looks like I might be getting aggro here. Also, I'm going to recast my hide animal poison before mounting up, so I don't have to wait. So let's aggro this guy, and then when I mount up, he drops aggro. So... And just a little tidbit, little cheat there. That wasn't always in the game. They changed that because people were using their mounts to tank mobs, and it looks like these freshly spawned too. But let's see. We won't know until we kill them. Also, kill them anyway for the baby drops, right? Yeah, these were recently farmed. So right now, I'm in the shadow of someone else's farming path, and that does tend to happen. If that continuously happens for the next, like, say 10 minutes, like I was doing a long farm sesh, then move on to a different zone, right? Because you don't want to just be behind, you know, picking up the scraps. You want to be in a fresh area where people aren't, you know, patrolling, I guess. And sometimes that's right outside town. Sometimes that's a few zones outside of town. It really depends. Also, I swear I recast my hide animal poison there. But, hey, it's fine. And, you know, I'm earning faction points. I forgot to talk about that. I am faction flagged, and there's a few reasons for it. It increases my drop rate. I'm 3 zones away. I'm getting a 15% bonus to drops and fame. And that increased percentage to drops applies to baby drops and tome drops. So you definitely want to be faction flagged. And I know what you're going to say. But the green guys or the blue guys can come beat me up. Well, look, I'm next to my mount. I can mount up. I can just run away. It's totally fine. Another thing, too, is everyone wants to, what's the best skinning gear? What's the best this? What's the best that? The best mount, which you don't need to focus on as a new player, but it is nice to have, is the Elite Wild Boar. The reason why is it has the highest carry weight, it's the fastest out of all the boars, and the coolest thing is that when I walk outside of the range of the boar and it unsummons, I'm not overweight because it's a passive weight bonus that applies regardless if it's summoned or not. It's like an ox. If I had an ox, yes, an ox can carry more weight, but they're slower. But if I walk outside of the range of the ox, I become overweight until I resummon the ox. Which means If I get attacked by an enemy player, I'm basically stuck in place. And that usually means you die. And, well, this is a blue zone. You can't die, but you will receive a repair bill, which sucks because you have tier 8 equipment, you have the tier 8 tool. Yeah, it gets a little pricey. So, also, I totally didn't need to pyroblast that cougar. But, you know, it was biting me, so it got a mouthful of fire. Alright, we got 7 minutes until the servers go down. I'll show you the earnings. You know, we're almost there. And so we've done a full lap now. We've done one full lap. It took 25 minutes. That's about normal of how long it takes. So I could have been... I'll promise you, when I'm not rambling on in a YouTube video, because that's very distracting, I can be way more efficient at this. Also, I'm stopping for all the little things. Normally, if I'm doing this, you know, to try to max out my earnings, I'm just stopping by 3 or more mobs, right? These are 3 mobs. I'm going to stop for them, obviously. But, oh, we got another one here, a little respawn there. I'm going to kill that while I skin this, run back to it, grab that, because, again, you know, that's just free silver, right? And then continue on. Also, I'm getting hit by mobs, which prevents me from going into a gallop, so if I path better, I can speed around the map slightly faster and more efficiently. But, like, look, this is a really good little stop right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a few more around me. There's 2 more to my left, there's 1 above me. And again, this is just free money right here. It's just free. Now, again, your results may vary. I forgot to say this at the start of the video, so I apologize. But if you are playing on the East server, this is going to be way less profitable than what you watch me do. I'm on the West server, and the reason why, a lot of people ask me that I guess they don't understand how MMORPGs work. Maybe they're young or inexperienced, that's fine. The reason why you're not making as much money on the East server is because the East server has way more bots than the West server. Way, way, way more bots, okay? And we're going to grab these two also. Fire Blast is really good as a ranged attack, but it's just going to kill this, so... Oh, no, it didn't kill it. Okay. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. The reason why the East server sucks for this is because bots are constantly doing this 24/7, and they're competing with each other on the market. And when that happens, the prices get driven down because there is more supply than there is demand. And when that happens, everyone is making bottom dollar skinning. So, yes, you can do this on the East server to make silver, and I still recommend that you do it because it's safe and it's free and it's consistent. That's the biggest thing, is that I see people argue, oh, black zone better, red zone better. Here's the thing, right? They went to the black zone a few times, they got a big jackpot, they went into a dungeon, and they opened a chest worth like 2 million. It happens sometimes, and it's really fun and cool when it does happen. But it does not consistently, always, constantly happen. Alright? Whereas when you do this, what I'm showing you in today's video, whenever you go out and kill the mobs and skin the mobs, this is consistent. And right now, and here's the thing. Because I haven't gotten a baby drop, I haven't gotten a tome drop for whatever reason. I guess unlucky day, huh? It's better. It's going to be better than what I'm showing you. And that's always fun, right? Because when you watch my video and you're like, man, I want to make that kind of silver. And then you go out and you make even more. And you're like, oh, wow, yes. But again, I didn't find any 4.3 enchanted mobs. So that happens sometimes. There's usually a few on the map. So either it's just an area I didn't check out. And like I said, the hacker problem, it's huge right now. Big problem with that. So, you know, they're kind of scooping up all the enchanted mobs anyway. But regardless, this is still honest and good and reliable silver per hour. And, again, I already addressed the argument about the tier 8 gear. You can have that in your first month of playing the game. You have to grind out tier 4, 5, 6, and 7 before you can wear tier 8. Yeah, it takes time. You can't do this right as soon as you get your foot out the door. And some people want to argue that, oh, well, you can go to the black zone in your first day and make more. No, you can't, because you're going to die. You're going to be hunted down. The radar hackers I talked about, they can see you on their radar, and they will see that your gear sucks, and they'll just come wipe you. They'll come destroy you. And they're never alone. They're with their 10 friends on Discord. Go watch any Twitch stream of gankers. They're always in a Discord, and they're always, oh, you know, they have like 30 freaking accounts with cell phones out, where they just run around and they have scouts, so they know that you're coming. They know where you're at, even though you know, you're not on the screen. They're using hack programs to see you further than you can see them. It's just a real pain in the butt, okay? And we have only like a minute left of skinning here, and then I'm going to teleport to town, show you the profits before the servers get absolutely nuked in the next minute. So actually, I got to start teleporting home now. So yeah, we got like 20 seconds to get home. All right, so let's. Why can't I teleport? You don't have enough silver. Okay, well, that sucks. So I'm just gonna cheat here and redeem 500. There you go. Server error. Excuse me. I'm trying to buy gold here. Can I not buy? I'm not buying gold. I'm selling gold. Server error. Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna have to do this another way. 40 of these. This is worth 38k, 38k, 40k. That's 120k, right? We're just gonna round it. 47k. You know, we're at. Let's see, 37k there. All right, let's do this over. 40k, 40k. That's 80k. 120. 160. Okay. 175, and then the 7 would be. Let's say 180k right now. 188k, and then plus 30. 210, and then plus 7. 200. Let's say 220k. 227, right? 35. So let's say two. Let's say that's two. We're a little under 300k here for 30 minutes. Okay, a little under 300k. And yeah, I didn't bring any silver with me because I was filming another video. And it's weird that I can't sell the gold like before the server goes down. I guess that prevents people from like spiking the gold or something. But yeah, we're making around 600,000 per hour right now, which sucks. Really does. It really sucks. We got 0 baby drops, 0 4.3 drops, 0 tome drops, and I didn't even fill up all my journals. I normally fill up all my journals. But also remember, these journals, when I turn them in, like that's 41 times 52, right? Or 57, I forget. I'm just gonna go with 52. So that's like two more stacks. 2.5 more stacks. So that's 80, that's another 80k, right? So that would be another 160k per hour. So that's like 700 right now, 760k per hour. That's the video. Thank you so much. Sorry I couldn't teleport to town. Oops, my bad. But you can pause the video and do the math yourself. Thank you so much. Make sure you click like on the video because people will try to bury this video. It's full of useful tips. I even shared members only tips for the skinning stuff. You know, Happy New Year, everybody. And finally, on the right side of your screen, there's a video that you should absolutely click. Absolutely click. And if you don't click it, then every time you go out to skin, there's going to be like everyone is just going to be there skinning, and then you're going to only get 2 out of 6 resource nodes.